Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Defense of the Patients. I'm Cyphus, that's Roland.
Hello, over here, right here, here I am.
And we,
When you say that's Roland, it's as though people are like, where is he? And it's like, over there, that's him. Yeah.
Sometimes I point at you.
I know, I'm sure you did, but they don't see that because it's audio.
Yeah.
You know, it's only audio.
Ah, the limitations of the medium.
Yeah. Love when people are like, yeah, I love watching your show. It's like, me too. Me too. I love watching it.
We're the only ones that ever watch the show.
I'm literally the only one that has ever, and was he.
Jonesy, he watches the show.
As he lays on my very expensive tie, Jonesy.
Sorry.
He looks up at me. That's all right, dude.
Yeah. It was cute. If only the audience could have seen it.
Yeah, I know. But audio, once again, audio only.
We're constantly.
Here we are. But for real, though.
Lay on this. I was gone last week, and man, this has been such a weird week for me.
Weird week for you. Puh.
Oh, dude, there was an earwig in this headset. Just like you were telling me.
Yeah, dude.
The other day.
Yeah, earwigs getting
I'm sorry, audience.
Earwigs getting the headsets,
oh
dude.
My god, dude.
It probably planted in your ear, dude.
Oh my god.
Told you it happens.
That was terrible.
I got it sprayed.
It was precisely what you described, and it happened to me. And dude, I was like, oh, it's not that. You're just freaking out. It's just a hair. It's just one of your hairs got caught in the headset.
Yeah.
And then there was too much movement. Too much movement.
I got it sprayed though. I got it sprayed twice. I made sure it was sprayed inside and outside.
Dude, that fucker, now I'm freaked out. That fucker really grabbed on.
It makes you feel uncomfortable.
I feel vulnerable. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. It was in my ear though.
I will never put on another headset without fucking investigating first. Yeah. Holy shit, was that awful. Oh, and he was like grabbing onto my finger when I pulled him out to get rid of him.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is this show again?
It's a Dota 2 podcast. It looks like Weaver just Shukuchi'd into Cyphus's ear. Laid the swarm.
Oh my god, that was awful. So I was gone last week because I came down with the plague. Mm-hmm. And I'm still a little congested, but I'm definitely at the tail end of it. And then I had family in town for a family reunion, and just
I can't believe you're bitching about your week, dude.
It was a long week.
I'm gone all the time.
Yeah, but
I live in
you
an
were
airport.
Gone in good health.
I still love the airport, dude. I still show up early. And I know the airport so well now, at least Salt Lake City International.
Speaking of the airport, can we go get a pedicure before we go to?
So I found out about that. It's not a pedicure station.
Oh, it's not.
No. It's a foot massage.
Oh, that's worthless.
And then you can, that's worthless. And then then you can get like a massage, but it feels so uncomfortable because like I would never do it, even though I was like, oh, I could use a good massage, even though I've never had one, because I just not into that. But you're just sitting there as like thousands of people are walking past, and some guy is like, is that right with his elbow, and it's like, is that, and you're like, a little higher, like I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a full-blown massage. I guess a foot massage I could tolerate at the airport. At least that's not you like laid up on a table, Yeah.
So the guy you bought that expensive scotch from when we were flying to New York, he's there every time I've been. His name is John. He's the manager of the place. It's called... It
was a Japanese scotch, and it was really strange. I didn't really care for it.
I've been getting into white wine. That's been my big thing.
Well, you brought the cheapest bottle of white wine over to my place Friday night.
It wasn't cheapest. No, fuck no. That was the most expensive bottle.
Screw on cap.
He said, don't let the cap deceive you.
Okay.
Do not let the cap deceive you. That was a $39 bottle of wine. I bought two.
I wasn't a huge fan of that one. It was okay.
Dude, I'm like, once again, I don't know enough about anything to be like, ooh, this wine is gross. Like, it's either wine that's white that says Sauvignon Blanc, or isn't that what it is?
Yeah, that was a Sauvignon Blanc.
It's Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know. I just like it. It's like a tasty. It's like almost like a refreshing, like water in a way, but it's wine. And I guess Jesus would appreciate that. But like, I like wine. I've been drinking a lot lately. Actually,
if I'm drinking a white wine, I prefer either a
Pinot Grigio.
No, I like a Riesling and
a Riesling.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, honestly.
Yeah,
what you
or a Chardonnay? I drink. Oh,
I don't want anything bubbly. I think it's a sin not to be on an airplane and be a little bit inebriated. So like I mean, I'm going to Colorado this weekend, then I'm going to Vegas for the next day I get home, then I'm going to Seattle, obviously, for TI. So, yeah, dude, it's a shame. Like, I fly Delta, and I only fly Delta to build up my Sky Miles. I've already got like 23,000 miles or something like that built up, which is nice.
Okay. Speaking of the Seattle front, by the way, we're in the like final stages of negotiating with where we're going to be hosting the event. I don't want to say where we're talking with right now because I still feel like that's a possibility that it's going to fall through, or at least a slight possibility. But if you were listening to this, and if you're one of those folks who like listens to the podcast a little bit behind, or you or somebody who insists on listening to every episode before you catch up, and you catch this one, and TI is coming up, and you're going to be at TI, skip ahead to the next Monday episode, which should be, what Monday is that? August?
That's August 1st.
July 31st.
July 31st is a Sunday.
July 31st is a Monday.
That's right. That's when I get back from Colorado.
So July 31st, go listen to that episode. We're going to open it with, for sure, all of the details about the .p meetup and live recording. We're going to do 2. Or at least that's the goal right now. If I can swing it, we'd like to do 2 live recordings. They may not be your typical shows. It may not be it definitely won't be a typical Theorycraft Thursday. It may not be a typical .pro show, though we'll obviously be talking about the event in both episodes. But it may feature some combination of me.
It may not even be me there unless there's white wine. I'm serious. Like, I had white wine before we went and saw Spider-Man yesterday.
That's right. Yeah.
They made me buy food because in Utah you can't drink without buying food. Yeah. And I was like, what's the smallest thing of food I can get so you can continue to serve me?
Breadstick.
No, it was a side order of fries.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, how long is it going to take? And they're like, all I have to do is put it on the plate. And I was like, perfect. And another glass of wine, please. Dude, loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it. I had beer last night and was like, nah, this is heavy. And it's not nearly as alcoholic as I want it to be.
Yeah. No, I
alcoholic
like that
and
you're
content.
on the white wine kick. You ever see that show Bored to Death?
Here and there, Jason Schwartzman and
Jason
Ted
Schwartzman,
Danson,
which was it was a hilarious show. It's sad that it got canceled a little too early, but that's all he drinks is white wine.
Yeah. You know, it's cold, which I like cold beverages. You're not supposed to make red wines cold.
Yeah, you don't serve red wines below room temp, but you can serve a white wine at room temp, and it's fine.
No, thank you.
I'm okay with it.
I'm not a snob about it. I found my drink. And
yeah, fair enough.
And I'm happy to have finally found my road down, my path down alcoholism.
Let's start stocking a bottle here, a glass of white wine before every episode.
I do that. The thing is I don't drive with any alcohol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you're at the compound here. You don't have to worry about it.
Compound. Thank you for calling it what it is. It is kind of a compound.
Yeah.
And it's looking nice. Those yard people I hired.
Yeah. I was going to tell you that when I came over the other day, but you weren't here. The lawn looks very good.
Yeah. His name is Germont. He does my lawn. But he puts a little flag in my yard every time he's done to advertise for his business. And I throw it away. Then I'll come back and there'll be another one. And I'll throw it away. And I'm like, Germont, no more free advertising in my yard. I want people to think I did this. Come on. Anyway, keeping up with the Joneses is working out great, dude. Yeah. It's working out great.
White wine and a yard guy, and you're good to go.
Yep.
The American dream. Okay, so last week's episode with Wazoo is a really good one. If you haven't listened to that, go and check it out. I enjoyed that episode at the very least, and thanks to Wazoo for coming in and
it was fun
filling in for me.
It was fun. It was fun recording with Andrew again. I was hoping to get funny Andrew, and
I thought you got funny.
There was a little bit of funny Andrew. There's some serious Andrew. I was like, all right, we're just gonna be funny. We're just gonna because Andrew is one of the funnier people you'll meet.
Yeah, he is.
He's extremely quick-witted, and
we were always upset with him on Try Hard Tuesdays because he
tried because he was
being
try-hard. Yeah. And we're like, stop try-harding. Let your real personality come through, because he was going for this, I'm a serious Dota 2 player. And Mr. Blue's like, I can play Earthshaker, and I'm 5K if I really tried. And, and the real problem is Andrew didn't lighten up. And had he lightened up, he would have
might have been the most popular show on the network.
Oh, he would have been the most popular show host for sure. Mm-hmm. But instead, he wanted to act like he was good at Dota, which we all know how that is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We all know how that turned out.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's climbing again. I heard.
Yeah, he is. I've played 13 games of Axe and won 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and Axe has a 52% win rate on Dota buff.
Are you running a mid?
I'm running him off lane.
Okay.
I'm like doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm
doing it right.
I'm just. I mean, I think like we'll quote Nahaz here. Stats don't lie. I'm a terrible Axe. You know what I mean?
Are you like retreating into the jungle when lanes aren't going
yeah,
well?
I feel like I'm doing. I feel like when I'm saying this is obviously wrong, but I feel like I'm doing everything right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But obviously, I'm not doing everything right.
It's possible that you're doing things right, and you're
just like on a bad.
Well, it's also possible that you're. It's also very, and I suspect that this will wind up being the case. I'll bet that after you put 25 games on him, I'll bet your win rate on the latter 75 is way
it'll
higher.
Be
than
way
50.
higher. And Axe was one of those heroes that I learned how to play Axe playing Axe with you.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how I still play him. Is way too aggressive because I'm used to having my Dazzle safety net that.
Yeah,
I can get away with this because I have a Dazzle, or because I have a Winter Wyvern, or because I have some sort of healing hero with me in the offlane. But when you're solo offlane, you have to play Axe way more conservative than I am.
Yeah,
and I don't think I've had a single Axe game with less than 10 deaths.
Wow.
The blink. If I can get a blink dagger and blade mail before 20 minutes, usually that game goes well. There's been some losses that shouldn't have been losses.
Well, and that was the other thing I was going to say is, there's a portion of those losses I'm sure are more due to, are at least partially due to maybe carries not fulfilling what they needed to do or farming what they needed to farm or.
And I went back to the start and I've watched like 7 of the 14 that I've played, or 7 of the 13 that I've played, and I'm seeing some shit that I'm doing that's wrong. Which is what I'm doing. Is I'm running up and I'm right clicking on the enemy hero to have all the creeps attack me, obviously, to proc as many counter helix as I can. When I'm realizing that's not what I should be doing right off the bat. I should just be getting last hits like a normal hero. You know what I mean? And if I can call them. You know what I mean? And so instead I'm like, okay, it's game time, and just like running into like 2 heroes and 4 creeps, and I died. It's like, fuck yeah, you died, dude. It doesn't matter that you have a stout shield.
I'll tell you what I always notice with good axes in lane, and this is purely observation, definitely not playing the hero, but is people, especially if from the like 2K to 3K range, get into these weird lulls. Where, and I see it all the time in laning phase with every hero, not just with Axe, but a hero at level 1 has to play differently than a hero at level 6, obviously, right? And a hero at level 1, depending on the hero, may play completely differently at level 1 than it does at level 3, you know? So I frequently see really solid Axes do what you're saying and come up and play just kind of like a normal offlaner, right? Where they're just...
Where like you're soaking and you're bobbing and weaving and like you don't really have much and you're just getting your levels. And then by level 3, you have 1 point in call and 2 points in counter helix. And counter helix level 1 blows. Counter helix level 2, some pretty damn good damage.
Yeah.
And you're level 3 by the time they're level 2.
Oh yeah.
Ideally. So yeah, what I've also been doing is there's been a lot of skipping Vanguard. Just to get the blink further, and all the guys that I'm seeing is not much Vanguard on him anymore. So that may be, I'm used to getting like that, the tranquils and then the ring of health, so you have tons of regen type thing. But yeah, I do need to. I need to throttle.
So what
my
I'm saying is,
back.
so what happens is. So in that process where everybody gets used to what happens is everybody gets used to how you're playing at level 1 in the laning phase, right?
And then when you switch to aggro,
when you switch to aggro, they don't know what the fuck to do. And, and even better is they don't pay attention to their positioning. And you see it all the time with like heroes like I guess the example that keeps coming to mind are the examples that keep coming to mind are the melee safe lane cores like Jug or PA.
It's always melee, yeah.
So seeing those melee safe lane cores, what they'll do is they'll get up there and they'll continue to bury themselves up in the wave. And if you haven't been super aggro, they'll continue to do that. And then when you hit level 3 and that call's available, they'll stay way too close.
Yeah.
And and usually it can result in a relatively early, at least if not a relatively early kill, a relatively early mass burn of regeneration that they brought with them to lane.
Well, by the time you're level 3, you've already probably used a tango or two, if not all your regen. Yeah. So, but my problem is the support, because the support sucks. So I'm like building PMS, is what I've been doing lately, because it helps a lot with like, I feel like I see Warlock every single time. It's like I'm against the Warlock that's just hitting me, and then putting his heal Shadow Word on me. And it's just like, oh, this is so annoying. But then I realize, oh, I can kill him super easy. Like, that's the thing, is like, I play timid on a hero that you're not supposed, like, Battle Hunger makes you run faster. You get tranquils. You're supposed to move fast and run at people, but yet I'm like, ow, 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 and then run back to Fountain. And it's definitely, there's some timidity going on in my play, where like I'll be aggro at the wrong times and timid at the wrong time. Yeah, I need to get it down. Yeah. But once I do, and then I'm also going to, of course, evolve. I've realized that you don't really get much support, really, ever, even if somebody picks a support, especially at 2500 MMR.
Well, and especially in the off lane.
Well, in the off lane, and most of the times I'm delegated to jungle, because you enter a game and then you see a question mark, mid a question mark, safe lane, a question mark, off lane. And so a lot of those games have been jungle. And what I've been thinking a lot about doing is like my me max build. I've yet to do it, which is just getting Necrobook. Just going
no.
Going Necrobook.
I think if you play Axe in the jungle, you should treat yourself like the 4.
I treat myself like,
you know what I mean?
Like the 4, for sure.
Treat yourself like that roaming 4. When you can come into lane with a Battle Hunger call and a level 2 counter Helix, you know what I mean? When you hit level 4, go in, run into the safe lane and get a kill before you get the Culling Blade. Because it's not like you need Culling in order to get a kill.
No.
I think that's the biggest problem with most jungle axes, at least that I see, is that they jungle until they have blink, and they jungle until they, and like...
Well, you really need Blink Blade Mail to make a big difference.
You can get Blink Blade, but like... How many times?
But staying in jungle the whole time, I agree, is wrong.
Like so many times in safe lane, I don't need you there with your blink. I don't need you there with your blade mail. I don't need you there with anything but your right clicks and an extra disable.
Just for me to Battle Hunger and run up and call.
Yeah, like
and then
it's
if
enough. I can get you in a good position, like, because more often than not, you're in a situation which I'm sure you've been experiencing a lot, which is a 2v1 safe lane, where I've got two people and they've got one person, and the two of us can do a lot. Like, maybe the two of us can harass that off laner out of lane, but he's still hanging around soaking that XP. If I can get you over, maybe not even at level 4, maybe at level 3, maybe even at
level 4 would make the most sense, because that's when I'm 1-1-2.
Yeah, but I mean, even maybe level 3, like if you see that off laner pushed up, where you can loop around and come in behind and force a call while they try to run away from us. More often than not, that's a kill.
That's a good point. And usually I'm like on the inner jungle, more toward the middle of the map, where I'm not going to be able to get a gank, where I could be playing, like taking the small camp, or even stacking the small camp, pulling the small camp, playing him like a 4, that type of way.
But
then taking the hard camp.
I would say think of him more as a 4 if you end up having to play him in the jungle. I mean, that would, and maybe
I do definitely want to do the Necrobook. The Necrobook axe push. Take the plus 75 damage at level 15. Get like a Blightstone, and just because it works out so well for me, that like split push. It really does. Like, you wait for a fight to break out, and you go as far away from that fight as possible, and you take like 2 towers. And it's great. I love playing that way.
I know.
And where they're like, oh man, the fight came out.
Which is why I'm surprised. Like, why haven't you got into heroes like Ember and Tinker, and like, you know what I mean?
Because Tinker is just buttons, dude. That is all Tinker is.
Tinker's fun. Like, Tinker's one hero that like
I hate playing.
If I started dedicating some time to mid, Tinker is definitely a hero I'd want to start playing.
I like his last hit animation. He does good damage on his last hit. I feel like he's an easy hero to last hit.
When I discovered what I was doing wrong with Tinker, and like, because I had a run of like 20-25 games of Tinker. When I discovered, like, because what I was doing is I was playing him ultimate split push, right? Like, that's all I was doing with him, because I always felt like...
You're supposed to go into the fight and throw rockets and lasers.
And I always felt like that's what was happening to me with Tinkers. And then I realized, oh no, what's happening to me with Tinkers is they're showing up to every fucking fight.
maybe twice.
Yeah,
if
maybe
they're fast
twice.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, throwing out rocket blasts, throwing out lasers, doing all that shit. And then the moment the fight's over, they're fucking gone and split pushing the lane. That's what's happening to me. Not that they're...
I just find them so boring because it's like, you're like F or Alt R and then bottle, teleport in, you know what I mean? Marcher machines, blink, F, R, Alt, back to fountain, bottle. Like,
I don't know.
It's just the repetition is just like, ugh, kill me.
I dig that hero because there's more than that. Like, it's...
Remember the first good Tinker we saw though? We were like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Where it's like, he can do, what the fuck? This is bullshit. Like,
that hero,
I think it was like a 52-1
really
game.
Bullshit. I wonder what his win rate is in 7-0. I'm sure it's below 50.
Yeah. Because the thing is games I feel like they're ending sooner. And Tinker needs, and the thing is if you're not playing Tinker right and you're not going to the fights and if you're not staying, like if you're just TP boots, you're botsing in and like double march machining leaving.
47.34%.
Yeah, I knew it'd be below 50. My issue that I've noticed with him is you bots in, you double march, and then you leave before the creeps die, and then you get none of the experience but all the gold. And that's an issue. So yeah, making sure that you're present for fights. Also knowing how to jungle with him is an important thing. Like when you get your bots and everything, because you can hit 2 camps with 1 march.
Yeah,
and you can like push the lane, run into the jungle, march twice, TP back home, go to a different lane. Type thing, and be really utilizing the entire map. I've never really enjoyed playing.
What about like Ember though?
Ember is fucking awesome. But the thing is with mid and pubs is you've got to be a special type of person in order to get mid every single time.
Yeah.
Like I can't just be like I can't do like 100 games of Ember in a row. It just wouldn't work. It just there'd be some invoker that's like, nope, it shows that I'm the highest MMR in this game and I've played invoker and I'm really good at Sunstrikes.
Yeah, I was going to suggest
and
that
Ember really can't go. He can't. I know he does go safe lane.
He has a 27% presence there, but his win rate
is probably dismal. Probably below 50.
Drops to 43. Yeah. His win rate's above 50 though when he's mid.
Yeah. So I know, and Ember safe lane was something that a pro team did. That good for them. But yeah, I would definitely play him mid. I understand him really well, and I feel like I'm good about the safety remnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Safety first, always with Ember. Obviously, the item progression's pretty simple. I think what turned me off from maybe going down an Ember path was how he's like a magical hero that turns into physical. Like I hate that level 10 talent.
Yeah,
it's just stupid. But yeah, that's my main reservation with Ember. But as far as Axe, I'm excited to continue. I love the fact that I'm forced to do this for 100 games.
Yeah.
Because I'm not looking at it as like it's boring. I'm looking at it as like I want to achieve my goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a goal that I have to achieve. I can't just stop. Mm-hmm. Like I was paid to do it. You know what I mean? Like I'm held accountable for finishing the Axe games. And that's why there's only been one that I haven't streamed, and it was while I was in Las Vegas, because I don't have a rig to stream down there.
Yeah,
which should be fixed. I should have a rig to stream down there, but I was playing on my MacBook, which was nuts, on an 11.5 inch screen, playing Dota 2. I still had my mouse and keyboard and mouse pad, so that didn't feel foreign.
Comfortable at least.
It felt comfortable, but like I was like leaning way in, and the cursor was huge, and It went okay, and I met a bunch of cool people that listen to the show. Gosh, I'm going to give this guy a shout out because he was super cool to play with. His name is Despised Icon, and he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're not Roland." And I was like, "Well, that's my name."
Oh, I see that you have a Lycan game on here, though.
Banned. So a Lycan and a Shadow Shaman game. Yeah, that was my most recent game. He got banned.
Shitty.
And he's going to from time to time.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
in 16 games, he's been banned twice.
Oh, and I show that you've won 3 games.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well, my win rate just shot up.
That's right, pretty drastically.
Yeah. Anyway, let's take a quick break.
Okay, yeah. When we come back, so a couple of things that we're going to do. One, I'm going to, and I apologize to Patreon episode listeners, who may have painstakingly listened through that terrible audio episode, which is its own separate story.
Was that the one like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, where I apparently was recording on channel 2 and should have been recording on channel 1, and so I sound like I'm like phoning in from the world's worst telephone somewhere.
Oh, did you post it anyway?
The ocean. Yeah, Juice, God bless him, cleaned up the audio as best he could, and we posted it because it was a really good. The conversation was really good. I felt like, and anyway, so I'm going to be delving into some of that with you because I have a Dota hypothesis about why people are the way they are. Something I've been really formulating.
You're going to explain to me why I hate Ursi?
Yep, that's it.
Awesome.
That's precisely it. And we're going to do a little bit of gushing and maybe read a couple of reviews.
I would love some quantification.
All right.
On why I hate Ursi.
We'll be right back.
And welcome back.
Yep, here we are. Okay, so there are a couple things I want to talk about that I've been wanting to talk about with you for weeks, and getting sick killed me. So
no, it didn't.
We didn't, but it killed me.
You're still here,
It killed me.
If you died, I would give you... Have we talked about this, how great the eulogy would be?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a better speaker. I mean, like...
No, I'm a way better public speaker than you.
I would be better eulogizer for you.
No. I feel like we would both be pretty good at it, but I would definitely get the tears rolling, and then I'd get laughs, I'd get tears. I'd get both.
I'd hire like old Southern women to show up in my eulogy for you, to just stand there and go, "No God, no God." That's what I would do to like really go, and then I just have them bawling in the aisles.
You know the big sphere that motorcycles will drive in at like circuses, and they'll go in loops and shit like that. That's what will be behind me as I have a giant PA system talking about the greatest heights you reached and some of the lowest lows, and how we'll miss you as we bury you into the cold earth.
All I know is if I die, you're gonna have some killer ratings on the podcast for at least 2-3 weeks.
Oh yeah, and I'll play it up hard. I'll do it for longer than 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be like, he died, and like I haven't been sleeping. It's been rough. I've seen many doctors, but really, I'll just be like, please donate because it was super expensive to bury him. And to get the sphere where the motorcycles driving, I still owe those guys money.
Yeah. Okay, so there are two things I want to talk about, and one of them I'm glad that we had our little internal meeting before we got back to the second part. I'll let you take your pick. We can talk about either or. So I've got my hypothesis for human behavior in Dota 2. And then...
That's one I really don't care about. So let's go to the second one.
So good, though.
No, it's probably not.
It really is.
You probably assume that you're right the whole time.
And, no. That's why it's a hypothesis.
Yeah. Well, your hypotheses tend to be more like actual. Like experiments.
Oh, you mean like I'm right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't think you treat it like a hypothesis.
No, it's a legitimate hypothesis.
I believe if I throw this,
well, now I feel like I gotta talk about hypothesis.
I don't. Anyway, let's second option.
The major system, the overhaul to the major system.
Another thing I don't care to talk about.
What? Are you kidding me?
I don't really care.
Why?
Third parties taking over. It's stupid.
No, I think this is perfect. This is exactly what we were talking. Like, this is the major system that ages ago when we had that interview with Gorgon, I was like, this is how Dota should be.
I know, and everybody was like, you're dumb. I'm kidding. I had to play devil's advocate. I know.
And it's only gotten more and more like what I dreamed about.
How many weird things that you've said have like slowly been implemented?
So many watching Dota.
I know.
So many.
So I've gotten a couple, I think.
Yeah, you've had. Oh no, you've been more on with your weird like anti-meta things that like came to be meta. Like and I know somebody's gonna be like, well, no, Venomancer mid was mid before, but like you were talking about running Venomancer mid in a time when nobody was doing it.
I was jungling Veno the second the spawn boxes came out.
So you're doing that kind of shit, and then we started seeing it in pro matches. Not that long after you were doing it and getting a lot of shit for it.
6 months after.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been a patch or two in the way that probably, like, segued into that.
And they did it better than I did, because they'd leave at level 5 and stuff like that.
But so, okay.
I want some credit if you're going to get some credit. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's hear your stupid hypothesis.
No, I want to talk about the major system, because I love this. So for those that don't know, who haven't read the blog post from July 3rd, and I know this is a little bit of old news, but they talk about, let's see... next year, we'll be taking a more organic approach to growing the competitive ecosystem, working more closely with third-party tournaments. Instead of the previous major system, we'll be selecting many third-party tournaments to directly sponsor. Additionally, players competing in these tournaments will earn qualifying points, which will be the sole factor in determining invites to the International 2018. 2 tiers of tournaments that they sponsor, majors and minors. Majors have a minimum prize pool of 500K. They get an additional 500K towards the prize pool from Valve, which is pretty fucking cool, and kind of limits that prize pool, meaning you're going to kind of force teams to stay more competitive and participate in more tournaments than, say, just the majors or, just like Valve-sponsored events. Then the minors have a minimum prize pool requirement of 150K and then get an additional 150K from Valve. And basically everybody earns these qualifying points along the way, and the top 3 point earners on the team contribute toward the team's effective total qualifying points. The beauty of that is that it allows you to swap people around on your roster and still earn competitive qualifying points to get in, meaning that those roster locks, they'll move in, they'll have more weight, right? Like it'll be
they'll mean more.
Well, and it almost gives you this weird metric for like, if I'm letting this guy go, I need somebody with X qualifying points so that I can continue to do it.
Yep.
And it's going to give people, I think it's almost brilliant in the way that it will give players a little bit more bargaining power for when they're transitioning from team to team.
It's like, you're not going to pick me up? Are you fucking kidding me? Look at my points.
I got 30 qualifying points.
I'm your key to
your key to getting to TI8.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be, big named people, and it could make those big named people turn into small named people as well.
Yeah, some of them.
You don't have shit for shit. You carry yourself like you're the boss. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I love what I am very excited to see what this does to the scene, and it addresses so many of the complaints. Like LD was on like 4 weeks ago on Breaky's show talking about how like Valve needs to step in and do something more to support these third-party tournaments, and this is it. Like, fuck doing 3 majors at $3 million a pop.
Well, I mean, I don't see it impossible for .P to be able to put together 150,000. And then all of a sudden, .P has a $300,000. Then all of a sudden, .P has a $300,000 prize pool.
Oh, that would be a dream come true if we could ever hit that. I don't know that that's.
I've got 150,000 in my back pocket. Seriously, let's do it. Let's have the dot miner.
That would be a dream. That would be
It doesn't have to be a dream. Let's make it a reality, dude.
Maybe
150K.
Maybe.
I snort $100 bills all crushed up.
Yeah,
dude.
I know you.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Which is why you should not donate to Patreon.
That's
because
right.
it's like
That's
it's
right.
just I don't give
just
a
gonna
fuck.
snort your $100 bills.
Yeah, I get the paper grinders, just run it through a bunch of times until it's a dust.
Please donate to Patreon.
And the way 100 hits you, you know what I mean? It's just like bam.
Please, Roland. Everything Roland says is a lie.
Yeah.
Please donate to Patreon. So anyway, I was just really, I don't know. Were you not like I was psyched to see?
Yeah,
this.
no,
I was legitimately.
I
psyched
read it and it was just like, it looks like their heads are out of their asses.
Well, and there's going to be like an individual leaderboard.
It just makes sense. I mean, look at like a very small scale comparison being .P. Yeah. That it's been organically grown where we support it monetarily.
Right.
But also the community supports it monetarily too.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, this Extra Life thing, like, the community's doing the work, I'm putting in the money type thing. You know what I mean? For Extra Life. Like, it's just kind of, .P's kind of a small test for how I think it'll work out, which is hopefully, hopefully like how .P is.
There is something a little bit more organic about it. Well, and even more so, it allows these minor tournaments and even some of the bigger like third-party tournaments, it actually finally gives them some heft
and some notoriety, and the ones that do good will.
Well, it's your baseball season. It's what we were talking about before. Like, it'll be important to watch it because every time you're watching it, you're going to see new contenders rise to the top of the list for heading to TI. Like, basically for heading into the World Series.
And it won't be some guesstimate. Like, I think it's probably going to be this team, but I don't know, maybe not.
No, we can talk more definitively, and we can talk scenarios. We can say, look, right now, Secret doesn't look like they're going to qualify for the TI. I mean, here's what they have to do.
Unless mid-1 gets, like, 10 more points in this next...
But it's not even that you have to do it on an individual basis. That'll only matter when rosters kind of shift around. Mm-hmm. But being able to say things like, so here's how... Secret needs... To look at a tournament and say, Secret needs to place in X position, and, they need EG to place in X position, and they need CC, they need CDC to place in this position, so that their points line up just about right to get in.
Qualifier points don't lie. And we'll go into competition with Nas. Fuck your stats. Qualifier
QPDL,
points don't lie.
Baby.
Okay, what's your hypothesis?
Okay, so it dawned on me, and this was a conversation I wanted to have with you 2 weeks ago. Because I've been playing on that 3K account. I'm going to lock in with 3K finally. I'm sitting at like 30-60 right now, I think.
Nice.
Slowly kind of clawing my way up to the top. I'm playing a little more support when I play. And the games in which I have somebody who is genuinely a piece of shit are way fewer and further between.
Yep. I talked with you about that back in my heyday.
Right. I'm not saying that they still don't. I'm not still saying that they don't happen.
It's just
saying that
fewer,
they don't happen.
fewer and further.
They're fewer and further between.
Fewer farther.
And more and it's in the instances of somebody saying something along the lines of, "Hey, what do you think I should build right now?" Or, "Hey, do you think I should max this first right now?" People legitimately like just like matter of factly asking their teammates what they should do.
Do you think AC's good?
Yeah, do you think somebody building AC? I might build AC.
It's great for other people to be like, let's see, they're doing physical.
Well, not only that, it gives me a sense of camaraderie with that person. Is what I've noticed. What I felt in myself is like, you know what? I like this guy. Like, he's willing to have suggestions, and I've found myself saying to somebody, well, when I play Jug, I usually do this, and him go, yeah, I like that, but and we're actually conversing and making the best decision for the game. And it makes me feel like this guy wants to win like I do, but he's not being a dick about it. And sometimes I'm sure I've given bad advice, but I've never been flamed for somebody being like, that was a really dumb call in the AC. I'm sorry I listened to you. I've yet to even have that happen.
Even if it was.
If it was a dumb call, So I've yet to even have that happen. But Rin's still playing Dota. And I want to play, I got to play with a girlfriend. You got to do that. And,
I don't have a girlfriend.
Or your significant other.
I have a fucking wife.
So when I play with her, because she's sitting more around like 1,300, I think, or 1,400 in her party MMR, and like maybe a couple hundred lower than that in her solo. So I hop on to my 2K account to play with her onto my old account, and and admittedly, like, I'm playing with her and the average is getting drugged down to like somewhere around 1,600 to 1,800. But what's happening in those games is it's night and day. It's people raging. It's people flaming from the start. It's people just doing things, unwilling to talk with you, unwilling to accept anything, mad at someone for something they're doing to the point where, and punishing other players. That's another thing I've been noticing a lot at the 2K, at the sub 2K level, is if they're mad at somebody for grabbing a position that they wanted, so say I wanted to play safe lane, and somebody else locks in an anti-mage and sees that I'm hovering over Juggernaut there. Well, I'll pick Juggernaut and I'll go off lane, but you know what I do? I contest the mid's rune. But the mid didn't do shit to me. But fuck this whole team. Because fuck you all. Because I know what's going on here, and I'm the one who's going to...
Okay, so what's the hypothesis?
So my hypothesis is this. I think that there is a certain... when you think about... All right, I'll ask you this question first. When you think about like what like an okay MMR is, like something you wouldn't be embarrassed to tell somebody, what MMR would you tell? What MMR? Like if I just had it doesn't even have to be your MMR. It doesn't have to be whatever.
I mean, in 2014, 2K. In 2015, 2,500. Right now, 3,500.
Okay, so like the 3K, 3,500.
Well, it just changes. It's all perspective based, in my opinion. I feel like back when I was below 2K, I would feel comfortable telling people I'm a 2K player. Then when I was sitting at 2K to 2,100, I'd feel okay telling people I was a 2,500 MMR player. Okay, so right now I'd feel okay telling people I was 3,500.
So keeping that in mind, I personally think that the okay MMR, the MMR where people don't feel ashamed of their MMR, is in that 3K range. I think it's 3K. I think the magic number is probably really close to 3K, and if I did a survey of 1,000 Dota players, I think that, and I asked them that more or less that same question: what is the minimum MMR threshold to not feel embarrassed about your capability in the game of Dota 2? I think the average would hover right at 3K.
I bet it'd be 4K. I bet it'd be 4K. 4K is where it's like, I'm a casual. Even though you're not, even though 4K, it's 4K. Look at what I did TI5 when I went and said, "What's your MMR?" What was everybody's MMR? 4K. Everybody's
Yeah, or
MMR
like
was
upper
4K.
3K.
No, it was all 4K.
There were a lot of upper 3Ks.
I could get those recordings, but I won't put that much effort into this episode. But it was always 4K, 4500, 4250, 400, 4000,
and
4K.
And maybe that's where the hypothesis needs to be calibrated. But I fully suspect that it's more around the 3K range.
4K is the I know what the fuck I'm doing MMR. 5K is the...
Right. Yeah, no. And I get that. I'm with you there.
And that's why if you're asking...
But I think 3K is where people feel like... I have a generally good grasp of understanding what this game is. I think 3K is where people feel like...
Depends. I know. There's been a couple 3K people
I think they don't think that they're great. I don't think that they even think... I don't think the majority of 3K players think that they're great, but I think they feel like they have a generally good grasp on the game and are open to improving through advice from someone else. Mm-hmm. I think generally about that 3K range. I'm not going to say every 3K player.
I wish MMR would go away and they would follow StarCraft and do bronze, silver.
Well, I like the MMR
gold.
system.
I would much rather have like bronze, silver, gold, platinum.
Diamond. What MMR? What do you think the most embarrassing MMR range is to be?
Probably 2K.
2K and below, right?
I would say like
even 2K.
I would say 2K is more embarrassing than 900 because hey, I'm new. I'm 900. But 2K is like, I've been playing for a long time and I'm still 2K.
Okay.
That's
right. Okay, and that's more my hypothesis. And my hypothesis is that there is, because of the online community and the Reddit community in particular, and to an extent like some of the online like Twitch community, I think that there is a stigma associated with having a 2 in particular. I'm with you there. I think 2K as well, but I think in the teens as well. But I think in that 1K to like 2,500 range, I think there is
1K, you're innocent. You're just a puppy. You know what I mean? You're just learning. Yeah, like anything below 1,000, anything above 1,000, even like 1,800, 1,900, you're innocent. The second you hit 2K,
but even
you're
those
bad.
1K games, man, they're bad. Like
they're really bad because they're new.
No. But they're calling everybody else trash. You're
of
trash.
Course they
You're
are.
trash.
It's the internet.
Everybody's trash of this game, right? Because I think there's a shame. I think that those people lash out at others because of the shame they have associated with their own MMR.
Well, that's a hefty hypothesis. I'll say that much. And I would love to see it like any amount of testing done on that, which you could do a survey very easily. We absolutely have a community for it.
It would be interesting to see but
the thing about a hypothesis, you already skewed your result because of what you think will happen by it. So everybody that listens to this that would participate in the hypothesis would then...
I could unbiasedly, survey the Dota community and
anybody
results.
that listened to this would be biased. Would be
for sure. For sure. Yeah, knowing about the study in advance. Absolutely. Yeah. But I would love to know, like, because I really do think, like, it's what started to hit me, more recently than anything, because, like, those 3K players, and maybe, and again, I recognize, like, I'm able to be biased, of course, as much so as anybody else. But I don't mind asking people, I don't mind, like, trusting my teammates to, that they'll play at least at a 3K level, and ask them questions about what I should do, and I hear them ask me questions about what they should do. There's a willingness, and there's a lack of, not a lack of ego. What am I looking for here? There's a word that's just barely escaping me. But there's
I'm not even gonna help you. Like a lack of maybe embarrassment or a willingness to mutual respect, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's just there isn't that sense of shame. Like there just isn't that sense of like
equals. They feel equal.
Yeah,
like
they're unassuming. I guess they're unassuming that everybody for the most part they're unassuming that everybody around them is a complete piece of shit, and I don't know. That's been, for the most part, I'm not saying I haven't had ragers or somebody shitty show up in a 3K game, but it is fewer and further between. I really think that it's tied. Really do. I think it's tied to that stigma that exists around the 1K and 2K levels. And I think people feel ashamed. And I think that shame more often than not is retaliated against through a backlash, through rage, through an anger. I think shame turns to anger, and anger turns to hatred, and hatred leads to the dark side.
I don't know. I'm embarrassed about my MMR, and I don't get in there and find a target and blast them with insults. But
right, but I think that stigma can affect everybody a little bit differently. For instance, I think
I've never been a rager, but
but like for you, it might work to the sense that it's like, fuck it, what does it matter what I do? I'm already 2K. I'm already on this downward slide.
Oh, way
what
too
does
many.
It matter that I do?
I'm on too many drugs to be like mad at anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like, I'm just like the world is daisies. What are you talking about? Like,
I don't know. Anyway, that's my hypothesis. We had a lengthy discussion on the Patreon episode about it that I thought was really.
I'm
good.
sure Ursi had a lot of things to say.
No, it was probably that was me. That episode was me chitter chattering away.
So I was in game. Is this wrong to say this story? I told you this story about what people had to say about different show hosts in the random
no, you
pub.
can tell this story. It's funny.
So I get into a pub and everybody recognizes the .p tag, and I get the defense of the patient's question mark.
Yeah,
and I say. I always, like, what's that question mark or something like that, I'll play along. But come to find out, the game gets through, it starts, and then somebody from the enemy team is, oh my gosh, Roland, hey, what's up? I've been listening to the show a long time. It's like, oh, cool, I don't really do a show that much anymore. And anyway, it goes on, and I was asked, and you could probably find it in the replay because it's all chat. Maybe you could find it in the replay. It was while I was in Vegas. I was asked, how in the hell can I work with such a cocky son of a bitch? And I said, who? And immediately I thought of me. You know what I mean? I was like,
I thought you were going to say me.
No, you're not cocky. And they're like, Ursi, God, he bugs. And then another guy was like, really? It's Proud that I don't like. And then another guy was like, nah, Roland's the most annoying. So you got nothing. It was funny to hear people that... but this one guy, like, he really didn't like Ursi. He's like, I'd listen to Theorycraft Thursday if Ursi didn't say like every other word. Which I was like, oh, that's mean. I was like, everybody has filler words, and like defended the shit out of Ursi. And so Ursi, just so when you're out there, I want you to know that I defend you on the internet. I am your social media warrior.
All right.
For him. Anyway, they liked you though.
Oh, good.
That's because you take the friendly approach. You don't ever.
Yes. I love how you mask. I love how you just counter. Oh, that's just me putting on a guise of being friendly.
I know the real you.
Oh, the real me.
Yeah, I know
what is the real me.
Fucking a sad soul, dude.
A sad
soul. A really sad soul that is just kind of a douche. But has enough faces. Yeah, I mean, we're all watching Game of Thrones, right? You'd definitely be one of the faceless men. But
one of the faceless men?
Yeah.
What? Why do I get that?
Because you put on a new, General Denny, Friendly Denny, Podcast Denny. I've done no wrong Denny, Quiet Denny. There's a lot of different types of Denny's. But you don't do it to like kill people and stuff. You do it to, for social standing.
Wow.
Is that too far?
I feel like that's a terrible thing. That I put on a guy. I basically you're saying I'm a phony.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was going for. Phony. Yeah,
wow.
You're totally a phony.
Oh my!
I'm sorry.
God.
Yeah, no, I could have just said it much more succinctly. Yeah, you're totally phony.
I'm a phony.
Yeah, I'm not though.
Wow.
Yeah. See, because it takes the non-phony to call the phony person a phony.
Oh, see,
you know what I mean?
I feel like I'm constantly striving to be as genuine as possible.
See, that's what a phony person would think.
No,
is that they're genuine. But
they would think. No, I think a phony person knows they're being a phony.
No, yeah, that's ignorant Denny speaking right there. Because ignorant Denny doesn't know that he's phony. You know what I mean? But friendly Denny does. General Denny does.
Oh, wow.
I didn't mean for that to sting or anything.
Yeah, no.
But phony is the perfect. Yeah, phoning it in. Phony.
Okay.
Fake.
Okay.
Not real. Opposite of genuine.
Can we read some iTunes reviews and be done with this conversation? Because one of these iTunes reviews will kind of tie into this question a little bit. I'm curious.
Do they say that you're phony?
No, nobody says there's a discussion. All right, I'm going to read this one. All right.
Well, okay.
It's
and I'm just joking. I don't really think. I don't really think you're phony.
No, it's fine. It's what we think. Good content, pompous host. A 3-star review.
Whoa.
By Completist on July 20th.
Is it about me?
No. He says, I like Dota. As a result, I like the majority of this show. I think the last episode I listened to, though, consisted of one of the hosts pontificating on his charming nature for what seemed to be an eternity. If you were looking for solid Dota content, give it a shot. Personally, I'll stick with We Like Dota and the PPD podcast.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Pontificating on his charming nature for what seemed to be an eternity. We have to
Who do you
guess
think
who that is. I know.
Yeah, like I want to know who that is. I
Really hope it's not me. You know what I mean? It's
So,
one of those.
Here are my. There are only two people that this could be.
I like Dota as a result. I'm one of the two.
It's either you or Proud. It's got to be you or Proud.
I like the majority of the show. I think the last episode. Well, the last episode, July 20th, is when this was left. What was the last episode?
So the last episode would have been the Monday episode. Would have been
If it was July 20th?
Yeah, it would have been the Monday episode with you and Wazoo.
Are you sure?
Unless he had just
The
listened to
20th is
Theorycraft
Thursday.
Yeah, unless he had just
the last
listened to
episode
Theorycraft
would have been Theorycraft Thursday.
Unless the last, but with the podcast, the last episode he listened to could have
Oh,
been.
completist, we must know.
So completist, if you happen to listen to this all the way through, which sounds like maybe you won't, bud. I really wish I would really wish you would have named names.
I think it's Ursi.
No way. No. This is a you are Proud for sure.
Pontificating on his charming nature. Well, Proud does that too. Proud.
Yeah, I suspect that Proud was doing it in a joking way. I think you would have been doing it in a joking way as well. But
no, probably not. But I definitely would have been serious. Kind of like the phony thing. You know what I mean? Definitely serious. Mm-hmm. I agree, though. I only listen to We Like Dota and this new PPD podcast. So
I have not listened to the PPD podcast at all. Okay, I want to burn.
God,
through
there's a
couple
lot of these.
Yeah, there are a few new ones from here in July. So very interesting and entertaining. 5 stars from Vitamentos. Thank you, Vitamentos.
Pompous host. Yeah, that's Proud.
It says, Vitamentos says, I like to listen to this on long drives. Thanks for doing this every week. You are very welcome, sir. Thank you for the 5-star review.
You're not welcome.
And then we have Bring Back Proudland, a 4-star review. I need Proudland in my life. Don't you get it?
By
Jellysickle 101. So Jellysickle, I want to tell you that you may...
I'm the one that shot it in the head. Took it out back, threw it away.
Roland Old Yellerder.
Old Yeller? I thought Old Yeller died naturally.
No, Old Yeller gets shot at the end. That's why that.
And then the flowers grow. And the flowers grow.
I guess
the flowers grow on top of his grave.
So, Jellysickle, you'll be happy to hear that we are working on a couple of different projects.
Not really. Let's be honest. We've put maybe 5 minutes of work into it.
Oh no, I built the outline for episode 1 of the miniseries. Yeah,
he might have.
We're gonna be working on a
that could be phony Denny right there. Call him phone.
That's right. I really have that. I'll send it over to you.
I guess I could adopt things like Trump, like Crooked Hillary, phony Denny. It doesn't have a good ring to it though.
I think it's pretty good because you got phony Denny,
Phony Denny.
I don't know.
Phony Denny phoning it in.
Yeah,
phony Denny.
There's a little end of word alliteration there,
Let's just leave what happens on the show because I don't really believe that about you. And it's okay that you're phony because
it's okay that you're phony.
I lie all the time. You know that. I'm a what do you call that? A serial liar?
No, compulsive.
Compulsive liar. Yeah, I lie about dumb shit, dude.
I'm going to read this one. Great show.
Do you know that?
By CM
Did
Cloud.
You know that I was a compulsive liar?
Of course I know. Every story you ever tell me, I knock 50% off of every number I hear.
How come nobody calls me out on it?
Because at this point, we're just used to it.
Well, at least my stories are cool, so fuck
You're
you.
An exaggerator.
Okay?
You're a serial exaggerator.
Super big time exaggerator.
Great show, 5 stars from
I tell
CM
the best
Cloud.
stories, though.
Finally leaving a review because Ursi is killing it on the Dot Pro show. Have come to love all these personalities.
Ursi is killing it? Oh, Breaky.
No, Breaky. Have come to love all these personalities from the insights of Ursinity and Proud to the level-headedness and positivity of Cyphus. And Roland is the perfect villain to hate.
I am.
Keep coming back for more. Keep it up, boys.
I am the perfect villain to hate. I'm so glad that people hate me. Your hate fuels me. I promise it does. Except when people, there was that one low blow. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah,
the one guy that got me?
The one that really got you. And we still remember it months later.
I definitely try to be the villain. And I'm glad that I am the perfect villain to hate.
I'm going to read this. All right,
that's
we can keep talking. I do like...
That is a perfect descriptor.
I
have tried to be the villain. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't think you tried. I don't think this show started off with you as the villain.
But I became
I think you have...
I've embraced
you've evolved and embraced the role.
Well, I've become like the old cantankerous, old man.
Yes.
Which I'm fine with that, and I don't get you kids and what you do. And Denny does just because he wants to be hip. Because remember, he's phony. All right, let's read. What?
This is the last one. Love it, 5 stars from Petty1444.
Petty
Helps me get my Dota fix on my long commute to and from work every day. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, Petty.
Anybody that knows Completist, please let us know who the pompous host is.
Yeah, I would love to know.
I'm gonna put $50 on Proud.
I think you're probably right. I do think you're probably right.
Well, you got to bet against me.
No, I don't want to bet
Well,
against.
how am I going to make money?
You're not, because I'm not going to. This is not a bet I'm going to take. I'm not a squelcher, so I'm not going to,
What, you're saying I'm a squelcher?
Yeah, you're a squelcher.
At least I'm not phony, dude.
You're a phony in the sense that you squelch, but, whatever, bro.
And I cheat at poker, don't I?
Yes, yeah, you do. Sometimes.
We've lost friendships over the notion of me cheating at poker.
Yeah. Too many lucky hands right in a row.
Where it's like, wow, how'd you get a boat after a boat after a boat after a boat after a boat? And it's like, obviously because I'm stacking the deck. Or however you would do it.
Because you're worming it, all right?
What's worming it?
From rounders.
Oh, where he has like the ace on the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, he deals from the bottom?
Yeah, he deals from the bottom. Yeah, it's you.
Oh, so you set everything up on the bottom that you want. So when he comes around to you, you deal from the bottom.
That's right. Oh, yeah,
that's brilliant.
That's a really good way of
No, the way I
like
cheated was definitely not that way. That would have been I wouldn't have been caught probably had I wormed it. You know what I mean? That sucks. Okay.
But yeah, so we want to read all of them. We appreciate all the feedback, good or bad. We
need to know who's pompous completist.
That's true. You can't leave those kinds of
Maybe
reviews,
we need to start like paying for advertising on We Like Dota and PPD's podcast, like paging a guy named Completist who left a review on Defense of the Patients. Please, we don't expect you to listen. We just really want to know.
Could you just email us the name of the pompous host?
We'll give you a $20. I seriously will give you a $20 Steam gift card if you tell me who the pompous host is.
You're going to get so many fake completists now.
Oh, I'll know who the real one is.
Will you?
Yep, because I know there's a certain way of verifying that nobody knows how.
Okay, can I close this out so we can go watch Game of Thrones?
You're supposed to continue.
No, I can't. All right, I gotta close this. I gotta do this. Okay, if you guys want to find us, defenseofthepatients.com. Follow us on Twitter @p_show. You can leave us iTunes reviews and find the podcast on iTunes. iTunes reviews are really helpful, by the way, guys. This is what gets word about the show out. We're almost up to 100 iTunes reviews, so 7 more of you would be a huge help to the show. It's just important. It's a great free way to support the show. You can also click through the Amazon banner on the website, and you can support the show directly if you'd like by going to patreon.com/Defense of the Patients, where you can hear all the patron exclusive episodes. Sorry, the last one was a little bit late. As you guys know, we had an audio issue, but we got it sorted out. Or to the best of our ability. And we get those out at the beginning or halfway through the month and at the end of every month. Patron-exclusive episodes featuring a different combo of hosts. That's it. That's all you need to know. We love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, this is Cyphus. We're Roland saying good luck